Hey Trev, what are you doing in Seth's chair?
Hey guys, welcome to my show. I'm taking over for Seth as the host tonight.
Ooh, I don't think he's gonna like that.
We have a great episode planned for you. Welcome to The Trevor Show. Cue the intro music. Whoa.
Trev, I'm gonna need you to get out of my seat. I got a show to do.
This is my show.
I don't think so.
And
bud.
I'm here.
Yeah, I don't think so, bud. You gotta go.
No,
No?
I'm not leaving.
Trev, I'm gonna ask you one more time, nicely.
Well, it was nice seeing you. I'll see you in the next episode.
Get back in your corner. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Talk Shack. Sorry about that whole Trevor thing. I don't know what he think he was
You
doing.
said it was going to be my show.
No, I never said that was gonna be your show. It's my show. Our show. It's our show.
Your show.
Alright, whatever. Alright, let's get down to business. Episode 4. We missed Monday's episode. Sorry about that. I know you guys were looking forward to it. We just got kind of cluttered with stuff and we lost track of time. So it didn't happen. But we got a great episode planned for you today. The debates just happened last night. We watched the whole thing.
Yeah, got a lot to talk about.
It was a mess. It was something. In one word, explain the debate in one word. Can you?
I don't know that I could. That was just
Childish,
a disaster.
maybe? Childish?
Chaos.
Yeah, it was. So basically, this whole episode is going to be dedicated to the debate. We're going to break down each section or segment, and we're going to kind of say what Trump said, what Biden said, and some of the false information that would you say both sides gave. We're going to
A little bit. Yeah. I mean,
we did some research today, and we're just going to do our best to correct what they said, basically.
yeah, and then also kind of just give our opinions on some stuff that was brought up because they covered a lot last night.
Yeah, actually, they kind of did.
They got into a lot of different things. Not that a whole lot was said. It was more just going back and forth. But there was a lot of interesting things brought up.
Yeah. So, before we get started, I know this video has been going around for a while, and Trump brought it up last night. I really didn't want him to, but the whole Biden clap, you stupid bastards video. Biden brought up. Did he bring up Trump?
He brought up Trump calling soldiers suckers and losers, I think.
Yeah.
Which was, again, from that Atlantic piece that a lot of people have discredited. So,
Yeah.
I don't blame Trump for bringing it up, but again.
Yeah.
Like,
Biden brought that issue up, so Trump responded with, "At least I didn't call them stupid bastards. You're on film saying that." Personally, I think conservatives are really stretching on that one. I mean, if you watch the video and if you understand the military at all, personally, if I was there, I would have laughed, like I'm sure all the military members did that were there. Like him just saying, "Hey, clap, you stupid bastard." It's funny. To me, it's funny, and I don't see anything wrong with it. I think people are stretching. But anyways, I just wanted to get that out there because I've been on Twitter seeing all these right-wing guys calling Biden out and tweets like, "Biden, you're a stupid bastard." It's like, no, just let it go. It's not a big deal. It's funny. I would have laughed. That's that. Just let it go.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, it's just easy to jump on everything like this close to the election. Everything's got to be controversial. So
Yeah.
I understand it, but again, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. Just give my view on it and just, because we're conservative, but we'll take shots at both sides if, if it's necessary. Yeah. So let's get into this debate. Obviously, we said it was a mess. It was childish. The moderator, you and I kind of disagree on this. I think Chris Wallace was god-awful.
I'm not a big Chris Wallace fan.
It was terrible.
But honestly, I expected a whole lot worse.
It could have been worse, but I mean, to me, it seemed like every question he asked was based from like a leftist perspective. And I'm pretty sure Cade, you said this earlier, he interrupted Trump a lot more than he did Biden.
Yeah, I forget what the number was, but it was an insane amount of times. It was like 15 to Biden and then like 76 for Trump, which that came out of Trump's war room after the debate. However, I mean,
Trump
we all
did
can
a lot of
agree Trump
interrupting.
was interrupting Biden more than anybody was interrupting anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense that Wallace was doing that, but...
He also challenged Trump a lot more than he did Biden. Like, Trump would start saying something, and then Wallace would cut him off and challenge him on what he said, but I don't...
Well, I expected that, but there were like also a few times he did that with Biden, which I didn't think was going to happen. So
Yeah.
I think he tried his best, to be fair, but obviously, like, his own political ideology was going to show through a little bit there.
Exactly.
And, like, even though he's on Fox, might claim to be a conservative, like, you can just kind of tell by everything he says. It's not always the case.
So the whole thing was a mess, but it came down to specific topics, and I think Trump is the winner when it came down to when it came to staying on topic and speaking and answering the questions. I think Trump's the winner.
Yeah, I mean, he said a lot of things that he needed to be said. There were a couple times, I think, if he would have let Biden hang himself, it would have been a little bit better.
Oh, my word, yeah.
Like, if he would have just let Biden keep talking and say what he was going to say. But overall, yeah, I agree. I think it was pretty obvious Trump won that. Obviously, from the left, you're not going to see people saying Trump.
I'm trying to find I'm trying to do research for this episode, and everyone's praising Biden. Trump in his failure to criticize white supremacy. It's like, wait,
yeah, and we'll get into that.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
get
getting
into
ahead of myself.
That was
here.
definitely a big.
That may be arguably the biggest issue, at
I
least
mean,
from what I've seen.
That was the only issue I think people had with Trump.
Yeah,
Like, throughout the whole debate. There was a couple, but, like, for the most part, that's everybody I've seen is just posted that.
That was definitely the biggest issue, yeah.
definitely.
For sure.
So
Let's start with the first
we're
one.
doing a lot of talking.
Yeah.
We're going to get right into it.
That's
now.
all right. So the Supreme Court, that's where they started off.
First
And,
topic, yep.
I mean, that's kind of big right now, obviously. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, after her death, the seat being open. So Trump, well, I guess we'll just talk about both of their arguments kind of. So we'll just kind of try to keep this short, but Trump basically said, like, he was elected to make those nominations. He's supposed to do that on behalf of his constituents. He was elected, and the president serves for 4 years, not 3.
4,
Exactly.
not 3.5, 4.
Yep. And Biden kind of took the opposite approach. And he said because the election's already started, some places people are voting already, that he should wait until after the election. He also kind of backtracked what he said in 2016.
Well, because it was a different story back in 2016.
Yeah, obviously. But
you'll find that's a common trend with Biden and his campaign. He said one thing 20-some years ago, and now he's totally opposite.
I mean, that's, I think, the difference between the right and the left right now, though, is somebody that's from the left and they said these terrible things, years and years ago, and they come in today and they say, well, I denounced what I said before, and I've changed, I've really, matured, and I've developed a new thought, and that's okay, that's praise. When you turn around and you do it the opposite direction, and you're saying, I once was liberal, and now I'm conservative, people look at that and they go, oh, no, you're a terrible person, you can't do this, you must be crazy, you've gone off the deep end. Yeah, I don't know. That's frustrating.
Let's look at the maturity level on the two sides here.
Oof.
One side's a bunch of 16-year-old girls that think they know everything. The other side, what would you say the other side is?
I mean,
Trey?
working class adults.
Working class adults.
Silent majority.
Silent majority is a real thing, by the way. But they're becoming less silent, which I love, because it's causing so much drama, and it's so entertaining.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's causing people like us to start voicing our opinions. So thank you. Thank you to all you silent majority who are no longer silent.
Yeah, it definitely makes this easier for us.
Oh, yeah. Yep, definitely. All right. Next topic.
COVID-19.
COVID-19. By the way, I would say I'm COVID-free. I haven't coughed in an hour. Solid hour. No, I didn't have COVID. I'm still getting messages from people saying, like, hey, I shouldn't be in the same room as these guys because, no, I don't have COVID, okay? Like, I don't have COVID. I was kidding, all right?
Are we done with that?
Yeah. I don't want to see another message, all right? I don't want to see another message.
All right, yeah. So
COVID-19.
Same thing with COVID.
Coronavirus.
COVID.
China gives you a line when you come back with corona. Anyway, sorry.
China virus. Yeah. No. So yeah, again, the candidates gave two very different perspectives on that. Ultimately, it comes down to Biden saying Trump failed, and Trump saying he did well,
all right,
and Biden couldn't have done better.
when saying Biden told him not to do what he did and would have been worse.
Well, exactly. Like you got to look at the actions that Trump took. So he shut down travel from China.
Who fought against his China ban?
Joe Biden did, right? Xenophobic, racist.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you look at what Trump did. He shut down travel from China January 31st. By March 11th, shut down travel from Europe. And that was only days before declaring a national emergency and shutting down the country. So when you look at the criticism he got for that, and now they're saying that he should have done it earlier, and it's his fault that all these people are dead. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Nope.
Like, we literally have videos of Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, all these people coming out and saying that. Like,
good morning. It's Sunday. Oh, wait. What? Never mind. Sorry.
Hi, Nancy.
For those of you that didn't watch that Nancy Pelosi video, you're not going to understand what I said. Probably just ruined the episode for you, but watch the video. It's hilarious.
Absolute wildest thing ever.
So, she's doing an interview, and, like, out of nowhere, she just stops and goes, good morning. It's Sun. Whatever she said. I forget what she said exactly.
That's pretty much it.
It was almost like she was reading off a teleprompter, and then the person just
accidentally
hit the enter button, and it went back to the beginning.
Yes. Like, literally, she stops for like 5 seconds, and then smiles, and then goes, good morning. It's like, wait, you've been talking for like 10 minutes already. Yeah. Oh, she's a nutcase, bro.
Like, that's worse than any one of Biden's moments.
Honestly, yeah.
It's close.
Climate crisis.
I like to have kids on my lap. One was
I got hairy legs.
Yeah.
They turn blonde in the sun.
Top number 3?
Yep. No. We
Oh yeah, we still got more.
Do we want to finish?
Yes.
So kind of what Biden said. Yeah. We'll get it. So Biden basically said, Trump's responsible for the COVID deaths. Back in the town hall, was that a week or two ago, where he basically said if Trump had acted sooner, every single person.
He said every single person would live.
And then he says, look at the data. Look at the data. Every single person who's died from COVID would be alive if Trump
Biden, you look at the data, please. Anyways.
But yeah, and then he also says, like, he would have done a better job, which obviously, you got to make your case that you would have responded better. Like,
dude, he piggybacks on Obama on literally everything. Like, because people loved Obama so much, Biden's like, yeah, well, me and Obama would have handled it so much better. It's like, no, dude. Obama's not here anymore. You are running for president. Well, is it him or Kamala Harris?
It's Harris. It's the Harris-Biden ticket.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole other episode in and of itself. But
yeah, so like you said, just piggybacking off Obama, and in this case, about H1N1.
Did he mention H1?
I think Trump brought it up first.
Okay, yeah.
So Trump was basically saying that Biden and Obama failed in their response to H1N1. And Biden cited, like, however many deaths there were, like 14,000. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, he said like 14.
Which is obviously a lot less, but you got to look. H1N1 was not anything close to what we're going up
way less. Now. Yeah. And I wouldn't even say COVID's that serious, but
no.
But
especially for people with pre-existing conditions. Yeah. So you got to take that into consideration. But when you look at...
my favorite thing is what we have next. Yeah. Can I read the quote? I want to read the quote. So, who is this guy? Ron Klain, Biden's former chief of staff, goes... We did everything possible wrong. 60 million Americans got H1N1. It is purely a fortuity that this isn't one of the great mass casualty events in American history. It had nothing to do with us doing anything right. It just had to do with luck. Biden's own chief of staff saying, yeah, we didn't handle it well at all.
60 million Americans. 60 million Americans have not had COVID. Not even close to that.
Nope.
So you just basically, like you said, they got lucky. Like, it wasn't as deadly. People weren't dying, but people were getting it. How is that handling it any better?
That's just so funny to me.
Yeah. All right.
Next topic is the economy. And this, Trump blew Biden out of the water when it came to the economy.
You could tell, yeah.
It was, you don't talk business against a businessman. It was this section and the law enforcement section. I think Trump totally wiped the floor with Biden. It wasn't even close. But we'll get into the specifics here. So Trump said, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and if not for COVID, it would still be thriving, which is true. But it is coming back at an incredible rate, which is also true.
Yeah, and they reference, like, Trump saying that...
Never mind.
No, you're good.
I'll get into that.
Just that it's, like, coming back with a V curve, right? So, like, it went down and it's going straight back up.
Yeah.
And then what did they say Biden said it was? A K?
A K? What does that even mean?
I just don't understand.
I think what it means, and I was thinking about this last night when they were talking about it, I think what it means is there's going to be an initial spike, and then it's going to slow down, and then it'll start to come back eventually. I think that's what he was talking about, like that this is just like a fluke kind of thing. But that would be the best, like K. It's like shoots up a little bit, and then it starts to go back up. I don't know. I really was very confused by that.
No idea there.
But who knows? No one really knows half the stuff that comes out of Biden's mouth.
True.
Well, you're getting in bed with the guy that's been his whole job is business. That's what he's been doing since he started. That's what he's known for. Yeah. And you're trying to go after him. It was rough.
Yeah, it was rough.
And Biden basically his whole thing was the economy sucks, and he's basically citing how bad it is now and saying like Trump's the first president who's going to be leaving office with less jobs than when he came in. COVID. That's all. Like he basically just doesn't even acknowledge that COVID is a thing. Except when it's about Trump killing 200,000 people. Yep. Like, that's the only reason the economy is where it is. And like Trump was saying, like, it's coming back.
Yep. So I have some statistics here that I want to read about the economy. From August, an unemployment survey shows that 34 states have an unemployment rate below the national 8.4% average. In some cases, the state rate is well below that still high number. 5 states have unemployment rates below 5%. A level that would have been considered full unemployment before the turbocharged labor market of recent years. In many parts of the country, people are still getting back to work relatively quickly. National unemployment is being driven higher by poor labor markets in a few large states. California, for example, still has an 11.4% unemployment rate, and New York stood at 12.5%. In all, 10 states, California, Hawaii, Illinois, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island, had unemployment rates higher than 10%. Those states are home to 107 million Americans, roughly 32% of the nation's population. If those economies looked more like the rest of the countries, the national economic news would be much rosier for Trump. But to the politically shrewd reader, they'll note that 9 of those states have Democratic governors, and 1 that doesn't, Massachusetts, which also had the nation's largest drop in unemployment in August from 16.2% down to 11.3%. To me, that gives Trump an obvious line of attack going against Biden. Basically, all he has to say is, if you want to work, vote for me. If you want to stay at home, vote for Biden and the Democrats.
Exactly. And I think you brought up a really interesting point about those Democratic governors. And this was something I actually wanted to talk about with COVID, but I didn't get to bring up. When you look at those numbers, and like he's saying it's Trump's fault, right?
Yep. All his fault.
But the governors are in charge of the policy for their states.
Listen,
and when you look at the deaths, right? Like where are the largest amount of deaths or the highest rate of death? You look at New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Michigan, all Democratic governors, and they're the only ones who have sent sick patients into nursing homes. Like it's.
New York practically murdered its own citizens. Like
I don't know what else to call it.
Really. It is. Cuomo murdered his own citizens.
Like the old people are the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
And sending sick patients into nursing homes, it's the dumbest thing you could do.
I don't want to name call, but what he said.
Clown? Is that a good name?
That's loud.
Joe Biden really liked that one.
Shut up, man. Oh, Biden, man. That was...
I love how everyone's like, Trump's so unpresidential.
Oh, people are like, the reason I'm voting for Biden is he always keeps his composure. He's always under control. He used more name calling than Trump did last night. Like, oh, people make me so...
Keeps his composure unless Hunter Biden's mentioned.
Oh, we got a good... we'll be talking about that in a bit, don't worry. So let's get on to race and violence in our cities. I will be Chris Wallace.
How about we get to that after
I won't be
break.
Chris Wallace right now. Our ad guy is telling us we have to take an ad break. So here's a word from our sponsors.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a great podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Thank you, Trevor, from that word from our sponsors.
Oh, no problem.
Trev, you weren't supposed to say anything.
Oh, crap.
Scrap it. Scrap the whole episode. I'm done.
I'm done.
You know what?
Sit down.
All right, you're right. Thank you, Trevor. You're valued and appreciated. You're valued and appreciated. Trevor, you're valued and appreciated. All right. So, back to race and violence in our cities. I'll be Chris Wallace, I guess.
Okay.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups? What did Trump say right after he said that?
Sure, I'm willing to do that.
And to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
I would say that almost everything I see is from the left wing and not the right wing.
He's speaking as Trump, by the way.
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
And then Biden cuts in and says, or no, Trump says, name one.
Yeah, name
a
one.
group.
Because they're talking, and they want to
Biden
condemn
and
white
Chris Wallace are
supremacists.
talking at the same time.
True.
Biden's like, call out Proud Boys. Wallace is like, are you ready? Are you willing to call out white supremacists? Trump's like, all right, who do you want me to call out? I'll call them out. And then
Biden says Proud Boys.
So Trump goes.
So Trump says, Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what, somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. It's a left-wing problem.
Did he just mention Antifa?
I think he did. That's not a real thing. It's just
Did
an idea, right?
Biden called them just an idea?
Just an idea, yeah. It's not real.
Ideas burn down cities and riot and
Sometimes.
loot, right? Yeah,
I
makes
mean,
sense.
in a way.
Makes sense. I get what he's saying. I get it. No, you're an idiot, Biden. It's not an idea. It's a group. It's a terrorist group. They've been going around. They've been burning cities down.
Yeah, you don't get designated as a terrorist group if you don't exist.
No, you don't. Sorry, Cade. I hope that didn't blow your ears out.
But yeah, that little back and forth there, that was kind of what it sounded like from Chris Wallace, Trump, and Biden.
This is the main issue that people have with Trump, as we said before.
Yeah, because he wouldn't condemn white supremacy.
But they didn't give him a chance to.
Well,
and he's done it before.
And he kind of did here. The first question, Chris Wallace said, are you willing to condemn white supremacy and militia groups? Sure.
That means no. Sure means no, Trey.
Sure, I'm willing to do that.
What planet
right?
do you live on?
And then when Chris Wallace brings up Kenosha and Portland, Trump is just saying it's not from the right. Like, I don't need to condemn right-wing militia groups because the right's not doing anything here. It's the left. That's what he sees. And then they ask him again, are you willing to condemn it? And he says, I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace. How is that problematic?
Listen, I'm going to read you 2 quotes of Trump condemning neo-Nazis and white supremacists. So for everyone that's saying, Trump's never... well, Biden's actually said this. He said Trump has yet to condemn neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Biden, I'm speaking to you now. In August of 2017, this is Donald J. Trump, as president of the United States, saying, racism is evil, and those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans.
I don't think you can really condemn it more harshly or more clearly than that.
The very next day, August 15th, he says this, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists because they should be condemned totally.
Yeah, and that was about the Charlottesville thing where people kind of get it misconstrued. He said there's good people on both sides, but they don't finish the quote.
Last night, Biden was like, it was after the Charlottesville event that I decided I needed to run for president.
And he said again, and Trump was about to like interject and say like, finish my statement. Yeah. And Chris Wallace wouldn't let him talk because it was during Biden's 2 minutes, which I get. But like when you're going to say something that's been disproven as many times as it has, and I don't even know why it's still a problem. Like, just listen to the whole clip. He says
that
they condemns them totally.
Research, dude. Why would I do research when facts don't matter? How I feel matters, Trey.
Matters to me.
Thanks, I appreciate that. That's why you're my co-host. Oh, and for all of you that have said, well, that was in 2017. That wasn't the last time he did it. In August 3rd of 2019, just a year ago, after the shooting at the Walmart in El Paso, Trump said, the shooter in El Paso posted a manifesto online consumed by racist hate. In one voice, our nation must condemn racism, bigotry, and white supremacy. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism, whatever they need.
It's insane. Like, how many times does he have to do it? Like, you've condemned white supremacy once, right?
Someone come out and say how many times Trump needs to condemn
And why is that being brought up at a debate? Like,
That's such a stupid
it
question.
drives me crazy,
That's Chris Wallace, man. His questions were weak. They were weak questions.
They were
for the most part.
He had a couple good ones, and it brought up some interesting stuff. But generally speaking, I agree. Like a lot of the things, like his questions just didn't really. They weren't substantial. It was just, are you going to condemn white supremacists and right-wing militias?
That's literally
He's
what
already
he
done
asked
it.
him.
He's already done it.
Oh, man. I really hope the next couple debates was it two? There's two more after this?
I think there's two more, yeah. The VP debate is next week.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday, yeah.
I hope the next two are better. This one was rough.
I don't know if they could get much worse, really.
Which, if you haven't noticed this is kind of a weird thing with the Republicans and Democrats. The Republican president actually debates the Democratic VP, and then next time you'll get to see the Republican VP debate the candidate for the Democratic president. Yeah. That's just how it's new this year. It's a new rule. It's how they're working it out. I know it's confusing to some, but we figure we should clear that up.
Listen, all Biden, this is what Kamala told Biden. This is what I think Kamala told Biden. She said, listen, you just need to go out there. You need to stand the entire time. Please don't take a nap. Please don't lay on the ground. Please,
no Adderall.
Please keep your pants up. Keep your diaper on.
Don't sniff anybody. And it'll be a win. It'll be a win.
The bar was lowered so far for Biden that if he just finished a sentence, it was a win for him. And I'm going to give him credit. Biden did better than I thought he was going to do.
Because again, the bar was set so low.
Yeah.
Like when your expectations are he can't finish a sentence.
Not to crap. When the expectations are like Biden can't crap himself and he'll do okay. Like that's the point we're at. And people are going to vote for this guy. Oh, you can't think. Never mind. The integrity of the election. Speaking, this is a good. That was a good segue. Talking about the election now. This actually got pretty heated.
Yeah.
This section. So this is talking about the issues with mail-in voting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, the integrity of the election has been a lot more up in the air this year. Oh, yeah. You have Trump basically saying, like, the left is trying to steal the election with mail-in voting and
which again,
mass ballots going out. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, I think it's not, reasonable.
I wouldn't put it past him, but
well, you just think there's definitely potential for fraud when you send out ballots to everyone.
People out there. I don't think everyone's a Nancy Pelosi or a.
True, but when people are getting ballots for people who no longer live there, people who are dead, people who don't exist.
I'm trying to be moderate, bro. You're making it really hard.
It shouldn't be a partisan issue. Like, I think it's just a common sense standpoint to say, if you send out a bunch of ballots to some people who aren't even there, there's potential for fraud. So maybe not to the extent that Trump talks about, because he's a tendency.
He has the yes. Like I know exactly what you're going to say. Go ahead and say it.
I mean, he just has the tendency to really exaggerate things. Everything has to be. It's either the best or the worst with him.
Yep.
There's nothing in between. It's all extremes. So maybe not to that extent, but I think any reasonable person can see that there's a lot of potential for fraud there.
Yep. And Biden says Trump is trying to stop people from voting because he wants people to vote like they've always voted.
Exactly. So he's saying because Trump's against mail-in voting and because in his mind there's no potential for fraud, that Trump's trying to stop people from voting.
Which I don't. Can somebody explain this to me? Because you say, "Hey, we don't want you to vote mail-in. We want you to vote in person." Like, how is that discouraging people? I guess people that are
it's only because of COVID.
But like,
exactly.
If you really care that much and you're really that hard into voting, like, wear a mask. Why doesn't a mask work for voting?
Well, here's the thing: it does. Fauci's come out and said it's okay to vote. You go out, you socially distance, you wear your mask.
Yeah.
And these people worship Fauci. Any other time, they worship Fauci. But when he says you can actually go and vote in person,
if he agrees with Trump, then he gets slaughtered.
That's confusing.
Listen, the left, they believe in science. They believe in the science unless it agrees with Trump. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. The left doesn't believe in science. They believe in certain scientists.
Yeah. I mean, they believe in science when the science backs up what they want, like you said. So if the science backs up Trump, no. If the science says that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl, nah, they're not about it. But
maybe we all do that to a certain extent. Like we all, like, I don't know.
You can find science to back up pretty much whatever you want now.
You can find stats, you can find science, you can find all these things on your side of the debate, no matter what, wherever you are. You could find
I
science
saw
to say
Rubik's
that.
cubes.
You could find science that says that today's Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's the thing about science. That's the thing about statistics, is they can always be misconstrued.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But ultimately, I think truth is absolute. There's usually right and usually wrong. Sometimes it's a little more complex, but
I'm going to speak to the American people here. You at home, what my friend here just said, that just isn't true. How many times did Biden say that?
Many times.
That's just not true.
He had a dead eye for that camera, though. He was
did.
It was perfect. He's like, I'm speaking to
I'll give him credit for that.
You at
American
home.
people.
I give him credit for that.
Speaking of that, Hunter Biden. Let's get into Hunter Biden. I've been waiting for this
gosh.
segment all day. I've been wanting to talk about this. I love
So
this.
yeah, obviously the white supremacy thing, that was like the biggest thing for most people.
Yeah.
But I think like for me the most entertaining parts were the smart comment and Hunter Biden.
Don't ever use the word smart with me. That was
incredible.
gold. Trump will be out there with some things and be like, all right, man, why would you say that? But last night when he said, there's nothing smart about you, Joe, don't ever use that word with me, that was gold.
That might have been my favorite.
That was gold.
Whoa.
Oh, that's racist now,
sign.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that racist now?
That used to mean okay, but not anymore.
Oh,
They got rid of it on Call of Duty. That's all I know.
do they actually?
Yeah, they got rid of it because it was.
We're going to get our
racist.
podcast. And you know what? We're going to leave it.
That's good.
We're going to leave it.
But yeah,
YouTube doesn't care. We're not making money.
We're already demonetized, so whatever.
we got taken down from Facebook. We're chilling, bro.
Oh, yeah. No progress. We're permanently deactivated on Facebook, by the way. I'm going to try to make a new page at some point. So,
But Hunter.
perks of being a
second-
conservative, man, in
Let's talk
2020.
about Hunter a little bit.
Yeah.
Another one of those most exciting moments, I think, or at least most entertaining, was when Trump brought up Hunter Biden.
Oh, it was awesome.
I didn't think he would do it.
Oh, I knew he was
He was going to do it at
I knew
some
he was
point.
gonna do it. But then Biden was like, thought he was talking about Bo, and now all the liberal Democrats are like posting pictures of Biden talking about Bo, and it's like Trump wasn't even talking about Bo. Biden's the only one that said Bo's name.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who that is.
He says, I don't know who Bo is, but I know Hunter Biden got dishonorably discharged from the Navy Reserves. Whatever, dude. Dishonorably discharged from the Navy Reserves for, having a cocaine problem?
Cocaine problem. And the greatest thing, Biden straight up, like as Trump saying that, he's like,
sternly.
no, that's not true.
And then
What does he do?
2 minutes later, not even 2 minutes later, I'm speaking to you at home. I know we all have a family member that struggles with drug addiction. Dude,
But Hunter's overcoming.
it's like
You
he
just said
never
it
had a
wasn't
drug
true.
disorder. But we all have a family member that struggles with. So he didn't, and then he did.
Yeah. And that happened so much last night where like he would say something and then he would just instantly take it back.
Well, same with the Green New Deal.
Green New Deal.
Same thing.
Yeah. As soon as Trump started talking about like how much it would cost, the 93 trillion or whatever.
Well, because maybe it started making sense in Biden's head, and he was like, "Yeah, that's not a good idea." But you go to, like Kate said, you go to his website, and
it literally said, I'm going to see if I can find this because it's incredible. So it says Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial framework for meeting the climate challenges we face. So it's not just like, yeah, that'd be good if we did it. No, it's a crucial framework. Like,
does it say how much
necessary.
it'll cost on there? I know they talked about it
I don't
last
think it
night,
does on
but
his
I don't
site,
remember
but I
specifics.
actually did look into it last night. So
you
Trump said $100 trillion. I believe the actual estimate is like 93 trillion, which is close enough.
It's a couple
And
trillion.
Absolutely insane.
At that point, there's nothing.
If you pass the trillion mark, it doesn't matter. If
Well,
it's
yeah, and he was even saying like 2 trillion last night, trying to say is like that's a conservative number, like that's reasonable.
yeah, 2
How
trillion.
is that reasonable? But yeah, $93 trillion. It would just absolutely ruin our economy. And like taxes, he's like, oh, I'm not going to tax anyone who's making under $400,000.
Who's gonna pay for these new jobs?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Biden's so proud of the fact that he can say, 10 million jobs he's gonna add?
10 million jobs, 500,000 charging stations.
It's like,
for what vehicles?
who's gonna pay for them?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
people at home are gonna pay for them.
Don't go Joe Biden.
If you're Joe
Sorry, people
Biden
at
and you're trying to appeal to the lower class right now, why are you talking about charging stations for electric cars?
Dude, the best.
You don't have it. Like, you don't have an electric car.
I know I don't. Dude, the best thing was when, I forget what Biden said, but Trump goes, "You just lost the left." So,
he said that a couple different times.
The Green New Deal.
He's like, you would come out and condemn this, but then you lose your radical left followers.
And he goes out and talks against the Green New Deal, and Trump goes, "You just lost the left." It was good. It was entertaining.
He was, and honestly, Trump was really smart sometimes. Like when you got him talking about business, even with like the electric car thing.
Seriously,
he was saying,
economics, electric cars,
like on
and
the
even
his,
when they threw it, I think they threw this on purpose at him from left field, like. Oh, what are your plans for handling? Or no, was it? Do you take the science seriously of climate
do you
change?
take the science seriously? And he's like, yeah, but he also doesn't believe that humans are like the primary thing causing climate change.
No, but then he goes and lays out a detailed plan of what he's going to do, which is nothing. We haven't heard a single detailed outline.
Just the Green New Deal. That's
Biden's
the
never
thing.
said anything. We don't know what Biden's going to do. He's going to add 10 million jobs somehow. We don't know how, but like he hasn't said anything. Like, Biden slept through the entire debate, standing up, with his eyes open. He said nothing. He didn't answer a single question.
Well, he refused to answer one of the first questions they asked him.
Well, yeah, when he brought up the potential of packing the
Yes,
court, yeah. And that's a big issue right now, too.
Huge issue.
That's been a
getting
threat
rid of the
from a lot
Electoral
of Democratic
College, packing the
senators.
courts, adding states. Like,
Yeah,
Biden's like, I'm not going to answer that.
He's just like, no, because that'll become the big thing.
Go ask Kamala
like,
Harris.
just-
She's going to be running the country anyway. She'll answer that.
If I were Donald Trump last night, I would have at one point said, listen to me, if you're an American business owner of a larger corporation and he wins the election, leave the country.
Listen,
That's what I would have said, because like
They
like,
lost
look at me,
1.4
because I
million.
know economics, I know business. As Donald Trump,
I
that's
think
what
he
I've
proved
made
that
my-
last
his
night,
my
tax
too.
returns. So when they brought up his tax returns and they're like, what did you pay $750 in taxes? And he said, no, I paid millions. Which again, we don't know. Well, he said he's going to release it when
his
they're
tax
finished.
return, like it's under an audit.
Yeah,
Evidently,
He
and,
said
like,
when
he'll
it's
release
finished,
it when he's allowed to release it.
But like, even if it was $750, that's just
Well,
a
you just need
businessman being a
just
businessman.
You need to
That's
know how the
just
tax
smart.
code works.
Yeah,
Like
That's-
everyone
He
does
even
that.
said
Every
that.
was
business
given
owner.
to him by Obama.
By Obama, by Biden. Exactly.
yeah. So he just took it. Yeah,
No, but like there were a lot of times last night where Trump was like really good on that stuff. He was smart. You could tell he knew what he was talking about. Biden at no
when he
point.
spoke about the state of the country and the fact that we all need to come together. Well, this is during the violence in our cities and law enforcement. That might have been his best say. The economy was a good one too. That's him.
I think the economy.
But when
Honestly, I think he did
when
really
he
well with climate
spoke when
change.
he spoke about the law enforcement and what we need to do as a country and how, well, he threw a little sly in there at Biden and saying, name one law enforcement agency that's come out and endorsed you. None have or will.
He says, we've got time, and Joe goes, we don't have time. We don't have time. And they're like, no, we don't have time. We're gonna move on.
But no,
Name
like
one.
when he was talking about that was unifying. I felt like he gave it was crazy, it was a mess. But when he spoke about the country and what we need to do to come together, like that was my favorite part. Like that was so like I felt like he was speaking to the people, speaking to those people that live in these cities that are sick and tired of these riots and these protests. Like I think Trump spoke to them last night and it was really good.
Yeah.
There were some parts last night that I think Trump did very well. He handled all the curveballs that were thrown at him, and he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely seemed more prepared. He answered a lot of questions. Biden really didn't answer anything.
He didn't answer a thing. Like he name called Trump. Shut up. What do you call him? A clown?
Clown. Yeah.
Like
And they tried
Multiple
to back away
times.
from it really quick.
He's like, not a clown, something else.
Yeah.
oh, he also said you're the worst president the United States have ever had. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't the VP for Obama or something.
Oh, Trey, I thought I got a lot
And
of heat.
if you're allowed to, I'm allowed to.
I got a lot of heat last episode, but hey, Trey Bachman said it this time, not Seth, even though he's right. But no, I mean, it was a mess. I hope these next two debates are a little bit better. That's all we got for this episode. You know, we're just going to wrap it up here quick. Thank you guys so much for listening. I can't begin to explain the love and support that you guys have shown so far. All the, messages I get, all the comments and stuff, it really helps. And it means a lot to us. And I know I speak for Trey and all these guys. Like, we appreciate it. We did not expect it to be, I mean, I'm going to say this big, but like, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. We have a pretty good following, good base, and I'm looking forward to what the future has for us. With that said, have a good week. or I guess weekends, coming out on Friday. Have a good weekend. We'll get you back on Monday.